Hey, welcome back, everybody. And so the headline of the day: pending sales are making new records, but not in a good way. Is that really the case for our area, or is that just nationally? You know what? Hang on a second. Let's find out. Okay, so there's been a lot of information out there about what's going on, and there's a couple of really important things to keep in mind. One, a lot of the headlines are national level and not so much local. We only do our local market here, residential only, and we use the same metrics each and every week. So we look at that consistency as far as what is the real pattern in real time. Now, Today we're going to get some good information and maybe some not so hot information, but it is also seasonally normal. So let's take a look at some of the national headlines here, and this is where it comes up with. And you can see in our chart there, we're on the national level. Sales of pended sales have actually come way down. Now, again, that is a national news, that is national level, and not necessarily what we're seeing here. And in fact, we're still in the top 5 as far as the best sweet spots across the United States, considered one of the most affordable at-home workplace, as far as home purchases. And we actually just got hey, we're one of the hottest hiring markets still, nationally. So there's just a lot of information, but let's just keep ours in absolute perspective. So when we pop back here and we take a look at some additional news, we can see that we have an article that came out late last week. It says, hey, slowing home price gains still outstrip inflation, meaning that we are still seeing some good values coming on. And then, of course, mortgage apps stall as borrowers seem to be waiting on the Fed. Now, folks that are waiting on the Fed probably are under a little bit of a wrong bit of information that the Feds control rates, mortgage rates, because as you all know, they don't. Feds control your car interest rates, your credit cards, what banks lend to each other, home equity line of credit, it's also known as a HELOC. That is what the Fed controls. The mortgages are controlled by mortgage-backed securities. They're publicly traded, and they go up and down right along with the stock market. The best tool to watch, even though they're not tied together, the best tool to watch is your 10-year treasury. That is an important one because they freakishly follow each other, even though they have no relationship to each other. Just keep that in mind. All right, so when we pop back here, we can see that our mortgage rates actually are at about 6.43%. They were down on Friday, but they kind of popped up a little bit today by 2 basis points, or just basically just a real small, tiny amount. Again, you have the rent versus buy calculator. You can do your mortgage calculator, and in fact, line up 4 different kinds of calculators. If you're looking for metrics as to what are the best programs. In fact, if you're on the fence and you're looking for some good options, ring us down below and say, hey, send us your 3 mortgage lenders that have 3 different areas of expertise, and which is super awesome because then it allows you different ways of looking at things, and there's no cost. We'll just forward you those 3 individuals, especially if you want to get best pricing and learn how to be a cash buyer with no additional cost. Anyway, in a financed world, that is. All right, moving on. So when we take a look at what's going on with Freddie, we can see here that Freddie is showing on their 7-day average 6.35%, which is 0.83% less than it was last year. So you can see that our rates are starting to trend again in a downward direction, which is super important to where we were at last year, because remember, October of last year, we started seeing, really late September, we started seeing the mortgage rates starting to come down from the mid to high 7s, and people were saying it's going to go into the 8s. Now we're down into the mid 6s, and we're starting to see that come down again. So our numbers, which you're going to see today, I think are going to be super competitive, because if we continue as expected in Q4, just to kind of hold at that 6.5, maybe go down a little bit lower. Some will bop into the high 5s and then bounce back up again. We're going to see that trend between now and the end of the year. Last year, 2023, that's when we saw the mortgage rates changing. We saw massive activity between October, November, and through the middle of December. Seasonally normal, but we saw a lot more activity because rates were coming down, and we saw some really quite a bit of buyer movement out there. Now, understand, rates have come down enough that buyers are becoming more and more active, but they're not low enough to bring in that massive surge of pent-up demand that is out there, because we know a lot of buyers that are wanting to purchase, but they're waiting and they're waiting. In fact, some are waiting for home prices to come down, which we're not seeing. You're seeing that on a national level, and if that's what the news channels that you're watching, you need to stop. You need to watch a local channel that has no marketing like us. Anyway, let's move back here. So when we take a look at Freddie, we can see that our downward trend since last year has been in a positive direction for buyers, right? So when we take a look at this and we talk about, okay, so we have some pended issues, our August numbers are in, and we can see on the left-hand side there, it says, hey, look at this, pended or on market until, meaning active to a pended, is 6 days longer. Okay, well, we've gone up in time, which is not unexpected. We have seen a few little changes in buyer perception, but look at this. Here's our 7-day running average. So we had, just in the last 7 days, 693 homes came on market. We had 1,345 homes that went off market, and of course 1,134 that have closed, meaning that sale is concluded. Now, yeah, we have a couple of price reductions, about 700 of them. Okay, not unexpected. Those are sellers that missed the market, but are, starting to recapture. Now, understand, when we talk about recapture buyers' attention, right? That's why we reduce the price point and try and meet what the buyers in this world are willing to accept for a home price, which they set that price, not us, the buyers do. All right, when we take a look at our numbers, you can see, hey, we have twice as many homes that have come off market than came on market. We are not seeing that national trend. In fact, we are bucking the trend. I like that, bucking. We're bucking the trend today. And so that has been a consistent pattern all year long. So again, don't compare what is going on in parts of Florida and Texas and Detroit and Ohio. Those areas don't matter. It matters what's happening here if you're going to buy a home here. And we just say it. All right. So what is super important about that? Yes, you guessed it. If you're looking for super accurate information, hey, you know what? Remember to like and subscribe. It just helps the channel out. I truly appreciate everything that you guys do when you do like and subscribe, because it helps other people see this information so they can make a really good decision. There's no selling. If you've been watching or if watched, there's no selling. It's just solid information for you guys. All right. Now, if we kind of jump back into things, take a look at this. All right, hang on. Look at this. Look at that. So 2023 on the left, and you can see that it is normal for August to peak and then head in a kind of a downward trend a little bit. And you can actually see where our numbers and our pended are actually heading in a upward trend. And that is a good sign. We will start to see our seasonal slowdown. Totally normal. So that when we take a look at the bigger picture, which is this one, and we talk about what the heck does that mean, George? Okay, so as you can see, this is our chart that shows on the upside, what is the average list price? And the red one is, what is the average sold price? And you can see we headed up and we crossed and we're heading back down again. And we did see a little bit of pullback just in general, just on the price point of what was being purchased. That doesn't mean that home values are on their way down. In fact, they're actually up a little over 6% year over year, which is absolutely awesome. If we look at everything, I think some folks are saying we're almost in the 8s. I don't believe in that. I look at residential only. That's the whole of what most people buy. And if you want condos and multifamily, that's a different report. Let me know. But here we can clearly see that we're seeing a little bit of a price pullback with buyers. And that is, again, totally normal. just depending on what's going on with rates. And in fact, year over year, the average sold price is only down 2,000 year over year, month to date or year to date. There we go. The month to date, as we can see, let me blow that up for you guys. The month to date is up 6.4%. And that was for the close of August. Now we're only, the first part of September. So we're not going to see September numbers make any amount of sense yet. But look, we're up 6.4% at an average sales price of $843,000, which is up just a little bit, down from where we were at year to year. Not unexpected and not a big deal at all. Keep things in mind here, right? Keep things in mind. We're going to see some of these numbers start to shuffle as we head into the winter months, into Q4. Again, seasonally normal. We've still got people doing vacations. We have kids getting back in school. We're going to have, folks that are refocusing redirecting their focus away from home search to doing other things before the snow flies. Anyway, totally normal, and we'll start to see an increase in activity over the end of September. Yes, that means that if you're coming on live with your home on market here in the next couple of weeks, we're not going to see as aggressive, depending on price, as aggressive activity, but you will still attract those buyers that are actively looking, which is really good. Anyway, moving on. All right. So when we take a look at, let's pop this back open again, and let's head over to our actual numbers. So we do have our final numbers for August, which is super awesome. And let's blow that up for you. You can see year over year, our solds are up 0.2%. Basically, just a nominal amount of homes, not many. And then, of course, when we take a look at our pended, we're up 2.7%. A little bit more significant of a number, but we're seeing really good things happen. Here's the funny thing. When we take a look at August, when we say with the final numbers, right? That's final numbers, not a 5, but an S. August 2023 over 2024 or vice versa. Sales are down just a tad bit, about 100 homes, right? Nothing too extravagant, but we're up 20.5% or a little over 1,000 homes when we talk about what's happening as far as what pended in the month of August. We had a last minute surge as rates came down. The only thing that really benefited that was the fact that we had a bunch of resale homes coming on market, which was a massive help. New construction, which we're going to hit into next, they didn't do so well. Their numbers are starting to show a little bit of stress because we're getting more resale homes and people are leaning more towards the resale for a lot of different reasons. Price being one, second being that you get typically a bigger yard, and again the biggest one being price, and of course being able to have more flexibility on location, which is again another big deal. So when we start taking a look at new construction, let's pull up this chart. You can see that, hey, all things considered, we're still heading as far as the pendant in that positive direction. And then, of course, the active or new on market, those are heading in a positive direction until we take a look a little bit more at the actual numbers themselves. And when we take a look at the average sold, which is a center chart, and I highlighted that, what a massive fall off. Now, understand that was just the homes that of the price range that sold in the center chart. And as you can see, new construction price points are heading in an upward trend. And many times you look at that and you go, George, what the heck, man? That's crazy. How are they doing it? Why would they do that when they're totally different? All right. So just to be clear, we had a lot of projects, I wasn't involved in them, but builders had a lot of projects in outlying areas at lesser pricing because this is Washington State, right? Hey, we're 3/4 of Washington State. So if we take a look at, what happened up in Snohomish, they had, a 200 home plat that opened up and a super excellent price point. They flooded there. Well, that absolutely had an impact, obviously, on the number of homes that sold and whatnot, and that will bring that number down because there's not as many higher-end homes that have been coming on market compared to the outlying areas that are bringing on new plats. Simple enough. So the chart looks drastic, but it's really not. Anyway, let's get back to that chart. All right. So when we take a look at it and we take a look at the actual numbers that we're seeing, look, year to date, we're only down $2,000 as far as the average sold price, and that's pretty normal. That's not bad at all. We're still 4% higher than where we were at last year, but for the month of August, there was no net change. It pretty much was all the same. And, you know, when we take a look at the actual sales price, last year we were at $1.9 million. Hey, we're at $1.030 million now. So we've actually increased that price, whereas before we're kind of lagging a little bit, but hey, we're doing better than what we were doing last year as far as actual active sales price, because both numbers are balancing out really well. Now, when we take a look at the volume of what's going on, it's kind of where the tire hits the pavement, right? So we come over here. Look, the new construction is struggling with sales. As you can see, they're down 3.6%. Solds are down 2.5%. Even the month of August, even though they had a great end of month surge. And again, end of the month is the best time to buy new construction. They have numbers that they have to report to shareholders, and that is what they need. And smaller builders that report to banks, they will offer, not necessarily in price, but they will in bonuses or closing cost things, so they can retain flat price value. They need that stability, not only for people who bought, but for future people. And there's other incentives that they can roll into that. And if you're not working with an agent that does new construction, understands those nuances, you're probably going to lose or leave on the table $10,000 to $15,000 pretty fast. Anyway, if you need help, put it down below. We'll send you somebody who works in your area, and we'll get you taken care of. If you have any questions regarding new construction, feel free to ask. I do build homes as a hobby. Many of you guys know that. And so that's why we know quite a bit about it, and why we also track that trend very, very closely. All right, let's get back to this. All right, so when we talk about a 32.1% increase of pended sales, that was a pretty good jump. But still, you know, year over year, they're just struggling, and that's not an uncommon thing. So next topic here is the bank owned. Yes, super sad. We do have, yes, the wall of shame, and it is still around the 19 people. It seemed like people went on vacation, so we didn't really get any great shakes as far as additional information. When you look at it, you think, oh my gosh, there's that almost doubled, but that's not the case, because again, there are homes that are being marketed as foreclosures that are not foreclosures or bank-owned homes. And so the real numbers are, well, pretty much just a negligible. I think year to date, I think we're only up 22 homes, which is nothing over Washington State. We have no shadow inventory that people are talking about. We do not have a massive increase in notice of defaults, which is the first phase before notice of trustee sale, which is public. Notice of defaults necessarily are not. But as we get information from different lenders and look at trends, we're not seeing much of a difference there. The key for you guys is to make sure that you understand that, hey, foreclosures are not the really great option if you're thinking of getting a good deal. That's not where it's at. And you can see, one, our numbers are super low. And the fact that what we've got going on today is there are more fixer options, more resale options than bank owned, because bank owned, they're going to do paint, carpet, and vinyl and get it on market for at market value, and they're going to get it, even though they stay on market a little bit longer. Anyway, if you have any questions, put it down below. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Everything that we do is for you guys. So, hey, ring that bell and you can get these updates. In the meantime, I'll see you on the next video, and have an absolutely beautiful week. Take care.